traditional activists are there to increase the value of their shareholdings in the business and make a return on it, and they'll use whichever levers are appropriate to do that. But you also get a brand of, let's call them ethical activists, who are seeing ESG improvements as an end in itself. So, for example, if you were to look at Exxon, you've got a traditional activist working in there, or a couple actually, D. Shaw and Engine One, and then you've got the Church of England, which is clearly coming at that from a more ethical point of view. So you're right, you've got those two brands, and you don't want to confuse that the traditional activists are doing this for ethical reasons. It's because they see that high ESG ratings produce a pop in value.
Me on this one, Malcolm, because I think there are CEOs and investors globally poring over the sorry tale of the demise as CEO of Danone, of Emmanuel Faber as well. This is a man who tried to change the company from about shareholder capitalism to have a new mantra about stakeholder capitalism and embrace that ESG that you were just talking about as well. He had a swift demise because, quite frankly, the numbers over at Danone weren't good enough as well. A lot of people poring over this because it's almost the opposite of what we're saying, i.e. recalcitrant companies being forced into more ESG. This was a very willing ESG proponent who actually was forced out of his office because he didn't concentrate on the fundamentals, maybe.
Yes, but you've got to, in today's world, there's no doubt that high ESG ratings, and particularly the E and the S, are well perceived by the customer base and by the stakeholders, as you say. But you mustn't lose sight of what a business is all about. A business is there, and the directors are there to ensure the medium-term success of the business. And if you prioritize one set of parameters over and above and at the expense of all the others, the business won't be sustainable. It won't achieve success. So I think it's getting that balance right between the different stakeholder interests and the different requirements. I mean, a good challenge will be how quickly can oil companies, the Shells, the Exxons, and so on, what's the speed of changing? And certainly some of what I called as the ethical activists might demand speeds of change which are too quick for that business to do while still producing a return on capital.
Malcolm, the activists don't always win. We know that. I think that's clear. You look at a case like Barclays, where Edward Branson was in the stock for some time, had a 6% stake, continued to agitate for a change in policy and the spinning off of the investment banking division. In the end, ultimately, the markets would appear to suggest, and the state of the economy would appear to suggest, that that was the wrong strategy anyway to have pursued. But what do you think some of these high-profile defeats will mean for the success rate of other activists at this point and the strategies that companies engage in to try and head them off?
Well, it's interesting because there's a difference often between individual battles and the overall war. I mean, a good example that's been in the news just recently is First Group, the transport business, which has had a quite aggressive US, New York-based activist, Coast Group, having a go. Coast Group have, I think, lost most of the shareholder votes, the proxy votes, which there have been. But what has happened is their underlying strategy, which was to sell the US assets, has prevailed. There's been a change in chairman and then quite a lot of the board over that time. And the company's fundamentally changed its approach from selling the UK bus business to selling the US student transport business. So just because they lose the votes doesn't necessarily mean they lose the war in that case. So it's not quite as clear-cut as you suggest, perhaps.